This is an expat alert. I cannot believe that there are more U.S. embassy closures. And they used to be happening across the world in Africa and Asia. But this is on a totally different continent. But before I tell you which country, remember, 30 U.S. ambassadors were recalled across the world, mostly within Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. Countries like Mauritius, Madagascar, Niger, Laos, places like that. But today, the news we have for you is deeply concerning because the U.S. Embassy consulate has closed in none other than Moscow, Russia.
Guys, look, y'all kind of can feel what is going on. You kind of can see what's going on. You should know, once embassies close in countries, things are going to be heating up. And I know I know we mentioned this in a couple of our videos of when America do something to a country, they're not going to go to America. They're going to get the people that's in that specific country and hold them hostage and things like that. So you got to realize, like, hey, this is big. This is big. 2 weeks ago, we did a video about 30 ambassadors that, Trump called back to let them know what's going on. And this is happening in real time.
Yes. And the U.S. State Department not only has said they're closing the embassy out of nowhere, out of just 19 to 22 hours ago. They said, you need to get out. We're closing the consulate. If something happens, we cannot help you. You need to exit immediately, find the nearest flight, and you better fly back to America. Or you better fly back to Western civilization. Or you better fly to a place that's neutral in Asia or Africa, or the Pacific Islands and the sea. But look, the State Department has also cited that the Russian government, we don't know how true this is, but the State Department said it. If you're like, where's this information coming from? Go to statedepartment.gov because they have cited on the government website that Americans in Russia are under an oppressive and exploitive regime that has been demanding tens and thousands of dollars. Now, this is unheard of in places like Russia or Europe. A lot of this happens on the African continent with bribery. But what you're going to see is U.S. relations that cause retaliation for American citizens. All of a sudden, in a country that you thought was going to be okay, not necessarily sure why, because Russia and America are very much always at odds with each other, but nonetheless, you live in this country, you go to your favorite coffee shop. Somebody comes in dressed in a black suit and they tell you, come with me. You need to pay $25,000 if you want to exit this country because you are American. These are the issues that expats are facing across the globe if they go to territories that are not neutrally aligned with the U.S. We are already seeing an increase. We hear from expats in Ethiopia, in the Philippines, and various nations that are not completely necessarily aligned and have issues with corruption and bribery. And they say, what do I do? And we always tell them the same thing we tell you here, as if you all were our own children, because we inform our children as well. You should only be in American neutral societies, or you will be collateral damage. And no, you may not get kidnapped, hopefully not, unless it's in like South America. That does happen in South America, like Colombia. Yeah. But you may have to pay some ransoms. All because you have a blue passport that you were born with. I mean, you didn't try to acquire the passport. It's not your fault your ancestors were brought to America. It's not your fault your Irish family members flew or went over the sea to America. But you are American nonetheless.
Yeah, that is like 100%. You gotta be in countries that is neutral with America. I know that rubs people the wrong way. I know, like, a lot of people, when you want to move to another place, you're thinking like, I'm gonna get rid of, I don't want to go somewhere that they are cool with America. But that's really not the case right now. That's not wise.
That's not realistic.
You really gotta be wise now. And that's the only thing that makes sense for right now. You don't want to go to countries that is corrupt, because that will cause a lot of issues. I'm telling you, make sure the country that you're going to, that you're traveling to, that you're moving to, has that neutral relationship with America. It's not like battling the country next to it is not battling with America or if you're from the UK or Europe, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's really getting down to that time where it's like, you just got to be wise with the steps that you take, the moves that you make.
Yeah, because the next logical question that I have is, when are China and North Korea going to get in this mix?
Yeah. Yep. And you gotta be, you really gotta be careful too. Because I know for us, we was just having this conversation earlier about AI, right? So make sure the information that you are researching, that you are seeing and stuff like that, the research or the information is correct. Because AI, it looks super real now. I guess that's what just popped in my head of like, okay, all these videos, all the photos and stuff like that, you just gotta make sure it's real.
You know, that's so good, because inside of the Mature Adult Intensive, during weeks 3 and 4, written inside of our curriculum, our bespoke curriculum that 5 cohorts have now gone through, it's interesting that we talk a bit about technology and geopolitics, surveillance and AI control systems, global mobility, because all of these things are tied hand in hand. And if you think for 1 second they're not, let me be the first to tell you that some of the largest government contracts in America are written to OpenAI, ChatGPT, for militarized AI. And you may say, well, what are they going to do with that militarized AI? Well, nobody knows for sure. Maybe they'll simulate certain situations for the next couple of years, see where they can cut costs, see who they think is a big risk to national security in America, see what their next move is, who knows. But they devote millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to OpenAI, plunging the AI stock market up, which is great for us investors. But it's also something that you need to look at from an adjacent front. Just look and see, okay, what does this mean for the bigger picture? Because if those nukes start to pop off around the world, there's only going to be 1 or 2 safe places on Earth. Southern Africa, islands near Mauritius and Madagascar, and the islands near New Zealand. Those are the only ones where the rest of human population will not be destroyed. And you may say, journey with us, where do you get that information? Well, I like to watch military simulation documentaries. And that is the simulation that they have proven. They said, if these places, like Russia, China, and America, just start nuking everybody, nuking each other, because they're going to be in the bunkers. So they're like, we're safe. But they're going to be in the bunkers. The majority of Earth, over 2/3 is prophesied in Revelations, will not make it. There are only a few safe havens left in the world. And these U.S. embassy closures, these U.S. embassy consulates closing down should tell you also to close up shop in that region and head to the only safe places that can survive a true World War III scenario.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I feel like we say this time after time. It's just, you really have to be wise in the times that we are in, and be strategic with the moves that you make. You gotta have a strategy, because I believe the Most High is putting it on our heart and mind to say, go somewhere where it's going to be neutral. Go somewhere where it's going to be safe if nukes do start flying. If war really start to be.
Flee for the mountains.
Yeah, you really got to go somewhere that's going to be safe for you.
Yeah.
And you got to think the time is speeding up. The time is not waiting on you. It's not waiting on us. But If you move wise, I'm telling you, you will be fine. So just listen, please.
Yeah, you'll
It's
be
getting
more
really
than fine.
serious. Yeah, it's getting real serious now. So there is safe havens, there is Goshens out here, and you really got to choose the right country that's going to fit for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Visit the Mauritius Africa playlist if you want to learn more about this location, this region called the Mascarene Islands. Binge all of our content, all of our playlists should be one of the only channels you're watching. Beside like a first post to keep up with the Russian and Asian news media to see what they're putting out. But you're gonna have to make a cognizant decision to only preference content that is showing you how to survive World War III. Not just for you, but for your family, for your business, for your finances, for your savings, because there are networks, there are business procedures, there are global mobility plans that you can strategize right now so that you become the Joseph of your generations.
Yeah, it's time, family. It's time. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it. Leave your comments down below. Let us know what you think of these embassy closures, because it used to be just Africa and Asia, although Russia is technically in Asia, but now the U.S. consulate is closed in Russia. Can't get a birth certificate for your children if they're born in Russia. Can't get flown out from the U.S. embassy in Russia because they're not open. Flee Russia immediately.
Move wise. Shalom, family.
Shalom.